Y'all, I'm wearing the same outfit twice in 3 days. That's dedication right there. You gotta subscribe for that. We're out here grinding 24/7, 365. Can't stop, won't stop. You know how it is. I know that writing essays for college apps can seem really intimidating at first because in school, at least for me, we are basically always writing about other people or other things or other books. We're never writing about ourselves. I think that's really unfortunate because college apps was like the first time since elementary school that I started writing about myself. And I didn't really know how to do that. So what did I consult? I consulted YouTube videos. So that's what this is. This is trying to show what my essays were like and show what I was writing about in order to get into MIT. If you want advice about the other parts of your application, the link will be right here. And before I forget, subscribe if you want more videos like this. Essay number 1, something you do for fun. We know you lead a busy life, full of activities, many of which are required of you. Tell us about something you do simply for the pleasure of it. I loved to journal in elementary school. It gave me an avenue to record my ideas, my feelings, my aspirations. However, as time passed, I wrote less and less, the frantic pace of life erasing my spare time. I miss confiding in my tiny notebook. Thankfully, listening to producers on SoundCloud introduced me to another form of self-expression, songwriting. Music is just journaling with a twist, and there's so much I can create with it. Writing verses allows me to combine my favorite melodies with my deepest thoughts, creating a voice that is even more expressive than that of my diary. Essay number 2, why MIT? Although you may not yet know what you want to major in, which department or program at MIT appeals to you and why? My dad used his PhD in chemistry to help develop the McDonald's coffee cup. Over time, I became fascinated with his experiments. Isotopes, oxidation, esterification. It was a world so unfamiliar yet so alluring, I had to explore more. Similarly, I'm interested in applying my studies in chemical engineering to the work at MIT's Office of Sustainability. Since taking a trip to Tree Haven, a nature preserve in Wisconsin, I felt drawn to working in environmentalism. Through opportunities like the Food and Sustainability Working Group and Envision Cambridge, I look forward to experiences that will help shape my future in green chemistry. Essay number 3, community contribution. At MIT, we bring people together to better the lives of others. MIT students work to improve their communities in different ways, from tackling the world's biggest challenges to being a good friend. Describe one way in which you have contributed to your community, whether in your family, the classroom, your neighborhood, etc. Now looking back at this, I realized that this essay is really personal and it involves other people and their personal information, and I don't really feel comfortable sharing that online. Sorry, I can't share this one with you guys, but I'm gonna say that this is the cheesiest essay I gave to MIT. It's probably the worst one. Basically the premise of it was I talked about the tough situations that my friends were going through, and I talked about how I was trying to be a good friend for them and how I tried to help them cope with everything. So it was pretty cheesy, and I don't think your guys are missing out that much when I'm not talking about this. Essay number 4, the world you come from. Describe the world that you come from. For example, your family, clubs, school, community, city, or town. How has that world shaped your dreams and aspirations? We were supposed to win it all my freshman year. The tennis team had finished 6th at state the year before, and expectations were even higher this time around. I was a rookie, but I needed to have the maturity of a senior. One day, I sat on the bleachers at the end of practice, shielding my face to hide my tears. I felt intimidated by everyone, all the pressure that came with being part of a super team. I needed someone to lean on. Thankfully, the team was there for me. From the beginning, our captains led by example. They weren't afraid of emotions, rather they embraced them. When the team felt nervous, our captains used that adrenaline to help us power through matches. When the team felt unmotivated, our captains weren't afraid to push us, even when our legs were cramping up from long practice matches. Dedication and acceptance defined their leadership. I learned much more from the captains than just how to lead a tennis team. In every situation, I aspire to match their unfailing honesty, tenacity, and ability to aid others in any way possible. I take pride in helping the people around me do their best, whether it's perfecting their new forehand or absolutely nailing their next speech. I hope to inspire others to do the same for their peers, and I aim to welcome everyone into my life. As Captain Martin used to say, anyone can be your family. Essay number 5, significant challenge. Tell us about the most significant challenge you faced or something important that didn't go to plan. How did you manage the situation? I'd been disappointing myself at tennis tournaments for years. My coaches constantly said that my rankings were lower than my talent level. We thought it was a simple fix. A sports psychologist would do the trick. 8 visits later, my results were so terrible. What was I doing wrong? The answer was right in front of me. When things got tough, I gave up. It was a way to protect myself from upsetting setbacks. To me, losing without giving effort was better than trying and still failing. Thankfully, my coach took notice. Before lessons, he reminded me that I wouldn't remember my losses in the future. I would remember my character. If I didn't put in the effort now, I would have to live knowing I had squandered my talents. That would be worse than the pain of failure. Coach's words stung. I was the one holding myself back. I wasn't putting in the work during training. I didn't believe in myself because I never gave myself a reason to. Better starts right now has become my personal motto, one that has halved my national ranking in less than 12 months. Whether it's the end of a tournament, the end of my tennis career, or the end of my life, I want to know I achieved the most I could. After hard matches, I no longer have any regrets. Yes, failure still sucks, but if I sacrifice everything and still come back with an L, there's nothing left to say other than well played. The first thing I can recommend about your essays is to write about the things that you're actually interested in. For me, looking back, it's pretty easy to see which essays I wrote because I actually enjoyed talking about the subject and which ones I wrote because I thought the admissions officers would like what I was talking about. So yeah, I say like you have to learn how to be comfortable with yourself. You have to start soul searching, start learning about what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes you unique as a person. And basically, you're just trying to put your brain and the way you think and the way you see the world onto the paper. And that's all they're looking for. I think the first thing you have to focus on is just making sure you have the best picture and the most accurate picture of yourself on that piece of paper at the end of the day. Because the way I see it is this. Not only is trying to portray yourself falsely probably gonna decrease your chances of admission, but it's also the way that colleges are actually looking to see if you're a good fit for the school. Because realistically, someone who's gonna thrive at Princeton is most likely not gonna be the best fit at MIT. Another example, someone who is gonna do great at Cornell might not do so hot at University of Michigan. Someone who would love it at Dartmouth might not find their heaven at like USC. Even though they're all very good schools, they all have very different types of people who would be well suited for their institutions. They have very different cultures, they have very different academic environments, very different strengths in every way. Because at the end of the day, admissions officers more likely than not have a better idea than you yourself about whether or not you belong at a campus like theirs. They know their school inside and out, and they know what types of people usually do well at their school. And if you don't match that type of fit or that type of culture, like they might reject you just because they don't think that you belong there. And that is perfectly valid in my opinion. In a way, they're trying to do a favor for you by not letting you into a school that you just don't belong in. And being disingenuous in your essays, maybe you might get some better decisions. The schools that you get into might be perfect for the person you're trying to pretend to be, but they're not perfect for the real you. Writing these essays, while super stressful, can actually become really fun. Like, towards the end of the process, I learned how to enjoy writing these essays. It's a great way to like put your emotions and put your feelings onto the piece of paper and just get it all out. It's almost therapeutic in a way because a lot of the time talking too much about yourself is frowned upon in society, so you keep it in. But this is your chance to finally just in some way put all the stuff that you've been thinking about or all the unique experiences that you haven't shared or maybe you want to share more, and you finally have a way to do it. And you finally have a way to just talk about yourself. And I think I said this in my decision video, but you learn so much about yourself just by thinking about all the things you've experienced and all the things you've gone through and all the positive and the negative emotions you've had. And you learn so much about like how you've grown and how you've changed over the years. Although I say that the college admissions process in America is too stressful now, it does make you learn a lot about yourself. And the biggest reason for that is the essays that they make you write. And please, I can't emphasize that enough, start early. I think I'm releasing this on May 28th. I started writing my essays, I think in early June, so like basically 12 months ago. And I honestly almost ran out of time for a lot of them because there's just so many. If you're applying to as many schools as I did, which don't do that, you gotta start early, or at least start brainstorming. Because like I had to think for at least like 2 weeks just brainstorming in my head passively about what I was gonna write about in order to get the best topics possible. So I think that about does it for me. As always, I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And stay safe and healthy. We're gonna get through this together and it's gonna end, hopefully. Yeah, stay happy, guys.